If you struggle to sell cybersecurity, it's not because clients don't care. It's because welcome back to MSP After Hours. Tonight we're talking about one of the biggest frustrations MSPs face, selling cybersecurity and why it feels impossible with certain clients and prospects. And I'm going to tell you something up front. It's not that they don't care about security. It's that the clients and prospects you choose to work with don't care about cybersecurity. Because there are plenty of businesses that do. Businesses who evaluate protection, who want security focused partners, and who take their environment seriously. But most MSPs waste hours, if not days, trying to convince people who were never aligned with them in the first place. And that misalignment drains your time, your patience, and ultimately your business. Cybersecurity is not a technical sale, it's an emotional one. People don't react to information, they react to experience. I learned that firsthand many years ago when I was working at a local hospital. I was talking to a patient's family member. Their mother was fighting to survive. They told me everything they were emotionally carrying. And from a place of genuine empathy, I said, I'm really sorry. I know how you feel. They looked at me strangely and asked, Oh, your mother has passed? And at that moment, I realized I didn't actually know how they felt. My mother was still alive. I could absolutely empathize, but I had never experienced that kind of loss. And here's a cybersecurity reality. You are trying to sell the emotion of loss to someone who has never lost anything, at least not that they know of, because they don't have any monitoring in to detect it. That's why cybersecurity doesn't land. Without experience, there is no emotional anchor. Here's the real disconnect. Some prospects and clients don't think cybersecurity is a tech problem. They don't think it's a business problem. They don't think it's a problem at all. If nothing has ever happened in their world or nothing they've noticed, they assume nothing bad can happen. So when you talk about random things like MFA, EDR, MDR, identity protection, monitoring, backup, hardening, what they really hear is, why would I fix something that isn't broken? They simply don't have the identity of a business that believes cybersecurity is essential. Years ago, when I was the director of IT at a hospital, cybersecurity really wasn't at the forefront. But I learned a truth that applies directly here. People underestimate risk until they've lived the consequences. I've watched people resist proactive work every day, whether it's restarting systems, updating equipment, following process, changing habits. Everything felt inconvenient and unnecessary until something broke. And then suddenly, every proactive measure finally made sense. Cybersecurity is the exact same psychology. Proactive work feels inconvenient. It feels like disruption and it feels like overhead until the moment it's gone. I often tell people cybersecurity is the TSA of your business. Before 9/11, you walked straight to the gate. Your family walked with you, little friction, almost no security barriers. Then 9/11 happened, and the proactive security became non negotiable. Now we have long lines, scanners, shoes coming off, emptying of bags, have to show up early. People complain about it constantly. But imagine showing up tomorrow and TSA being gone. No scanner, no guards, no checks. Would you feel safe getting on that flight? Of course not. You'd probably lose your mind. That's what proactive security does. It creates invisible safety that people start appreciating until the moment it disappears. Cybersecurity works the same way. It feels inconvenient until it's gone. So why do MSPs struggle to sell cybersecurity? Well, one, you're presenting security as an option. You probably have a base package and then you have a security upgrade. Well, this says that security is not essential. That's going to cause you problems. Two, you're talking about tools instead of responsibilities. Clients don't buy EDR. Hell, they don't even know what EDR is. They buy your eyes watching the solutions that you deploy. Three, you're anchoring to future threats instead of current exposures. Someday doesn't move people. Right now can. And four, you're watering down your message to avoid pushback. And this kills your authority. But the biggest issue isn't your clients. What if one of the biggest problems you have is the identity within your MSP? This is the part MSPs rarely say out loud. If cybersecurity isn't part of your MSP identity, it's not going to become part of your client's identity. You cannot sell what you do not embody. If security is treated like a checkbox internally, clients they'll do the same. If your team isn't anchored in security first thinking, prospects will feel hesitation. Identity equals conviction. Conviction equals compliance. Top MSPs don't offer cybersecurity. They require it. They lead with it. They embody it. Security isn't an add-on. It is 100% the foundation. Trying to convert a client who doesn't care about cybersecurity is one of the most expensive mistakes an MSP can make. You lose hours, days, energy, momentum, and you take on the risk they refuse to carry. Here's what always happens. A client who doesn't need security will eventually get breached. And when they do, everyone knows you're their MSP. Everyone assumes you failed to protect them. And the parts where they decline services, that instantly disappears. Worse yet, if your website or you have some sort of pitch that says things like, we're your one-stop shop for IT, or maybe you say, we handle everything IT, or we take care of all of it. You're implying for more services than you actually provide. And legally, that implication matters. It can become a marketing disaster, and you'll never be able to outrun it. As you prospect, it's really important for you to protect your time and identity by setting expectations really early. And it sounds maybe something like this. Before we go any further, I want to tell you a little bit about us and why we are different. Some MSPs will sell you ad hoc security or even an upgrade package for security. What this really means, they don't care about security. We do. We are a cybersecurity focused MSP because the threats today are not the threats from a year ago. We literally stop attacks on our clients every single month, and security isn't cheap. So if stability, protection, and responsibility aren't important to you, we're not going to be a good fit, and you'll think we're way too expensive. Ultimately, you decide if your company is worth protecting or not. Then you stop talking, sit in silence, let them stew. If they're not a good fit, great. Now you know. If they are, great. Now you know. Clarity filters the room for you. So what do the top 1% MSPs do differently? First, they remove the choice. Security is required. Second, they make it emotional. You're not paying for tools, you're paying for us to watch those tools. Third, they anchor everything in current exposure, not shoulda, coulda, woulda beens, but what is currently going on. 4, they tell stories, not specs. I'm telling you, they don't care about the specs. They don't care about the solutions you offer. 5, they make the risk personal. Ask questions like, if someone accessed your email right now, what's the one thing you'd be terrified they'd see? Or what if they gained access to your accounts payable inbox and started resending invoices with their bank wire information? Everyone has an answer. You just have to find the question that resonates. Then cybersecurity becomes real. So how do you address existing clients who aren't in alignment? Prospecting is easy. Existing clients is where the real leadership begins. Because with prospects, the misalignment isn't created yet. With existing clients, you've already allowed it. You allowed clients in who don't value cybersecurity. You allowed a lower standard. You allowed a risk you would rather never allow today. That's not shame. It's just clarity. And clarity is how you fix it. So when it comes to talking to your existing clients, we start with something like, hey, we need to talk about how cybersecurity has changed. Over the years, threats have evolved faster than we've ever seen. We stop attacks every single month. We see things behind the scenes you never get notified about. Because of that, we've updated our minimum security standards. These standards aren't optional. They're required for us to continue protecting your business. Then pause and let that land. There are 3 paths for existing clients. The first one, absolutely, that makes sense. These are your aligned clients. The second path, I don't love it, but I trust you. Well, for us, at least they're salvageable, right? And the last one, we're fine without it. This is where the real danger hides. These clients believe it won't happen to us. We've been fine for years. We don't need that. We're too small to be targeted. Really, what they're saying is, we reject reality. We reject responsibility and we reject protection. And here's what most MSPs avoid. Keeping them makes you the responsible one. When a client refuses security and you allow them to stay, they don't know better, but you do. You understand the risk. You know the threat landscape. You've seen breaches destroy companies. Keeping them is actually worse than the client not wanting security because you know better and still allowed it. And all the risk is for what? A little recurring revenue? Is the risk worth the revenue? Almost never. So, if a existing client refuses your minimum security standards, you say, "We completely respect your decision." And that means we can no longer protect your environment. We'll help you transition to another MSP. No hard feelings. We'll keep the offboarding clean and professional. This isn't emotional. It's leadership. It's identity. So the bottom line, for prospects, you filter them before they ever enter your MSP. Existing clients, you raise the standard and discover who is aligned and who isn't. Some won't stay, and that's good, because the clients who value security will follow your lead. Those are the clients your MSP is built for. If you struggle to sell cybersecurity, it's not because clients don't care. It's because they've never experienced a loss. They don't see cybersecurity as a problem. They don't identify as a business that needs protection. And they take their cues from you. You don't need to pressure anyone. You need to embody the standard. Security isn't an add-on. Security isn't a feature. Security is your identity. And when clients feel that identity, they buy your convictions, not your tools. If you found this helpful, give me a follow, like, comment below. I always respond. And share this with another MSP owner who needs to hear it. If you want to deepen your MSP's identity, check out my books, The High Performance MSP and Profit by Time, both on Amazon. And if you want help building a security-first MSP that sets the standard, go to craigwillard.com and book a free call. Until then, see you on the next episode.